order. And as I explained to Rhea, she may have to kind of mouth the like Robert's rules, because I'm like decades out of practice with that. So. Anyhow, has anybody read the last meetings from January 2nd? And if so, can we get a motion to approve them?
I move to approve the January meetings.
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor? All, yeah.
Yeah, we're all in favor.
I was thinking, we're running on automatic, I think. The minutes have been approved. Now, the president's remark, Tony, I spoke to Tony, and he's in 80 degrees weather on a beach in San Salvador with Marta. Marta and me. El Salvador, that's right, yeah. His wife, they have family friends who have this coffee plantation. And again, that man also has a beach house, which it's like a beach estate. So he was just enjoying himself enormously, rubbing it in.
Probably has good coffee too, right?
So there are no president's remarks, but we do have an office update, I'm sure.
Yes. As some of you know, as you all know, we're changing our insurance company. We've done that. We've gone to State Farm. It's a better premium and so on. So with all of that, we were asked or told that we would need to have an inspection of this house, of this building. And that happened last week, and there's a number of items that need to be addressed. And Tony kind of set out a little bit of a priority and so on. So I'm in the process of getting some estimates for the electrical work, because that's like top of the list of anything that needs to be done. I'll send it out to everybody. I hadn't yet, because I kind of just wanted some input as to what direction to go. So I sent it to Tony and Mike first, but I'll send it to everybody so you see what we're talking about. So a lot of the things are very minor, and like Joe Bateman can do them, and so on. Others, like the electric, and I don't remember what else that is really major. There's something on the roof, but it's not the roof is fine. Somebody put a board up there somehow to connect, I think, the radios, maybe.
So it's not going
That's
into
the
the
electric
roof.
power.
Is it?
Is it just attached
Oh,
to
you
the
did,
roof?
okay.
It's not going in through the roof though, is it?
No, it's just there to keep it from eroding the roof.
Okay, but there's no issue of a leak. I think that was the implication of the report, that there might be a
It
leak.
just doesn't look very
It doesn't look
workmanlike.
very
No.
good at all.
It may be okay.
So, there's that. We are insured. I talked to the agent today because I've gotten a letter about that inspection from State Farm saying, we haven't received that yet. So I called, we're good, we're insured.
Now that's through, Wayne.
State Farm.
Yeah, State Farm, Wayne Shoemaker.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're really good.
Yeah, they are very, very attentive, and as a matter of fact, I am getting an estimate for them for another small community. Finally mailed out statements, as many of you have already paid. I mailed them on
When did you do
the
that?
31st of December, just Friday.
I got
January.
mine today.
Yeah,
I haven't got mine.
January, 31st of January.
Yeah, I just
So
got
it's
mine
just
today.
there. Okay.
Yeah, this afternoon.
I mailed 1,204, so, well, yes, so far. There'll be, I'm sorry, 1,204 will be the total. I have about, I would say another 20 or 25 that I'm going to put that claim document that I make out that I don't file yet, and I'll include a letter saying, this is what's coming if you don't pay. Very frustrating part of it.
So, just out of curiosity, since I know the number's probably right in your head, you sent out 1,204, is that our total
That's the total number of property owners.
property owners?
So of that 1,204, there's still 20 on my desk that because it takes a bit of time to fill out that form. It's an affidavit in support of judgment for the court,
Oh,
as
yeah,
though I was gonna file a claim.
right, gotcha.
Right, so then and that's been pretty successful.
Quite
over
a
the
few.
years. There's a stack yet, so.
But based on the fact that you did get from last year?
Well,
Or-
let's see, I wait for them to be 3 years in arrears,
Oh.
because I'm the only one doing this. And once that hits, I send that form to them with the letter. If they don't respond, then within the next period of time or so, I file the claim.
Do you, within 1 year, do you give them a notice that they've missed already or something? Or
Oh, I I send them a statement
Oh,
every year.
Every year, so.
And so-
The statement says your interviews.
Correct.
Okay.
And so that first year, you get a statement, you don't pay, the next year you've got 2
Mhm.
assessment
Mhm.
years. I stamp it, past due. And then the next year I send that
That's obvious.
form,
Yeah.
so. And then we file a claim, we get the judgment, and I file a lien. It's time consuming, though, it doesn't all just happen at once.
Yeah.
And of that 1204, how many are developed lots?
I've got it over there, there's, I wanna say 900 and some that are developed, 400 and some, 60 so.
That's
or
what I
so.
was thinking, that's why
And
this is interesting.
Yes, and
Yeah.
actually down on Johnson, do you know the Masons, John Mason? They
Yeah.
own,
Yeah.
I just got an email from him saying that they had finally, after all these years, combined all of their lots. So we just dropped off 2 lots, so to speak, from the total, 1,600 and some. Because there's 1,600 and some lots, a number of which are not billable because they're owned by the association or the land trust or the club. And none of us pay back those fees. So that just drops 2 more off. I was surprised I hadn't done it before now. The newsletter, it'll be due out in March. I sent Tony a reminder, maybe for his president's page, because the membership meeting is on the 22nd of March. I know
That's
that.
good to know.
The 28th was already, or the 29th, I guess it would have been, the following Saturday was already taken.
22nd.
So the 22nd of March. So we
Is
should
it
get the
evening
newsletter
or
out at least a week
in the morning?
before. In the morning, it's a
That's
Saturday
okay.
morning.
One thing I'm gonna do is write a treasurer's column this time.
I think that's a good
It's
idea.
in addition to the president's column, to encourage, although we have pretty good participation in the finance committee.
Mhm.
Just to tell people, encourage more transparency and visibility.
That's a good idea.
Well, I guess this is out of order. I'll talk to you when we talk about finance. I was just gonna say, have you determined a couple of dates for the finance committee?
Not yet.
Okay.
One thing Jack did do, he came in, was it last week? My computer had been losing a couple of minutes compared to like my watch and my phone. And the man that is from Kyocera had been in to look at the printer copier one day, and I mentioned it to him. And he said, well, some Apple and Mac and so on, they set their time by the atomic clock. It's always right on. He said other computers don't necessarily do that, and they can fall behind a couple of minutes. I said, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
Well, I mentioned it to my daughters, and they're like, ours aren't on. I don't understand that. So then I came in one day, last week I guess it was, and it was off by a whole day.
Oh, my gosh.
And the email could not connect to the server. This isn't good. So I Googled, why did that happen? CMOS battery. So it's a little battery, it looks like one of those nickel sized batteries.
Mhm.
And Steve Rowe, who does our project managing, I mentioned it to him, and he sent me a photo of it inside. Quite simple. So Jack actually came in, and I'm glad he did, because prying that case off, I don't think I'd have been brave enough to force it off like he did, like prying it up and so on. So he changed the battery, and so the day recovered, and the email server is now connected.
That's good.
Yay!
Recovered.
Although I-
Like Twilight Zone.
I will say that I had to reboot 3 times today, because my printer kept dropping off. There's a switch box there, I guess that's maybe the reason. I lost the ability to scan a few weeks ago, that's why the Kyocera guy came in, and he's the one that said it might be that switch box that he's doing. I guess it's what connects the computer to the printer copier. It switches it,
Is it our hardware or Kyocera's?
No, it's ours.
Who owns it?
It's ours.
Theirs.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we have to buy new ones?
Steve said it's really, really easy to change out, so we'll see.
Mm.
But I don't even know if that's the issue, but it seems like it might be.
And if it's cheap, let's try.
Yeah, I'll check into that. I'll check
Where
into
do
that.
you buy it?
Best Buy, Amazon, I'm sure, yeah. I had a car towed on the 30th of January. I know, I'm really excited about being able to do that, because it doesn't cost us anything. And all these years, I thought, well, we can't do that, that's more money. Come to find out, no, it's the person whose car it belongs to.
Where was it?
It was down at the intersection of Lake Drive and Laurel. As soon as you turn left on Laurel,
Mhm.
SUV,
Yeah.
relatively
I've seen it there.
new.
Yeah.
It looked relatively
Yeah.
new.
It was under the snow
RAV4.
for a while,
Oh, was it?
yeah.
Well, a guy that lives just down a little bit on the right came in one day and he said, there's an abandoned car. So I called the sheriff's office and asked if they would run the plates, and they would not this time, although they have in the past. But he did send a deputy out, and the deputy called me. He said, yeah, you can get this towed. It's registered to somebody in Great Mills.
Oh,
Yeah,
said-
well, I think I had said something to you at our last meeting about a car on Laurel.
Oh, I didn't-
It might be the same one, because
It probably is. I
Yeah.
do remember that.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was there a long
It was a long, it
time.
was
Yeah.
there a long time,
Okay,
and it
well,
was
it's
not
gone
even like attempted to like,
No,
park
it's
on
like
the
they
side, it was like,
pulled up and ran away or something.
yeah, it
Who
was
knows?
weird, yeah.
But, so I did put a sign on. I took a photo of the sign just because it was gone like the next day or
I
two,
wonder
that
if it
sign.
was stolen.
I have no idea. I think the deputy would have said, oh yeah, this is a stolen car.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
You know, because they run the VIN number, which
Ah.
is on the little
Mhm,
label
mhm,
on the window
mhm.
there, so. Anyway, it's kind of cool that we can do that now. And also, one other thing, I had an email from the manager at CRE a week or two ago, Maggie. And there's a man that, well, there's a company they're putting fiber optic through CRE. And I contacted the county to see if they were aware of this, and is it legitimate, and so on. And I don't recall the woman's name, but she contacted me from the county and said, yes, we encourage you to do it, we're working with them, and so on. So the name of the company is Think Big Fiber Optic.
Yeah.
And are you familiar with it?
Well, no, I just heard about it.
Okay.
Someone
I've
was
seen them
doing
working.
it out in front of his
Yeah.
house.
They've been working at
I've-
Breda, or just across the street from Breda, across Westby Hall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On Beretta? So that's
Well,
county.
I forget, what's the name of the street on the other side of Westby Hall?
Yeah, it's
Coops-
Across
Harbor.
Raspberry High.
Oh, across Raspberry Hall?
Harbor Drive, right?
Harbor?
Yeah.
Harbor
yeah.
Drive?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were like, you know,
Yeah.
using a directional drilling,
Right,
I guess they
right.
call it.
Well, he will come and do a presentation. Apparently they're having some sort of presentation Saturday, but he'll also come to the board meeting, and I don't want to come Saturday. So I asked if he would do a board meeting, and he said he would. So can I maybe put that on for next agenda?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, and that's it.
Okay, now, operations and roads, are you also,
Yes,
are you talk to that?
hold on a second.
Oh, the snow removal.
Yeah, so the snow removal cost was $60,738. The original invoice they sent was like $67,000, and I hadn't looked at it, but that included something that we had already paid for other work, but it hadn't yet been posted. So anyway, the total was $60,738. And I sent the invoices to the county for the special tax district to see if we could get forward funding on it. And she responded with, well, let me check into it. They're new at that finance office, so they're still kind of learning their ropes and so on with regard to special tax districts. So she spoke to whoever was above her, and he said, yes, but did you put out for bids? And can we get copies of your bid proposals? We're like, well, it's been a while. So yes, they funded it, and it's been paid and so on, Grover's Landscape. But I did respond, and I said, well, given that we've not had any weather to speak of for 5 or more years, we have not put out for a request for proposals, and we've been a little bit remiss. So we need to do that. John Wood, so it's Grover's Landscape has done it for years now. And I also explained to the county that the last time we did put out for proposals, only 2 people responded, Grover's Landscape and another company whose name I can't remember. Grover's Landscape was somewhat significantly lower, so of course that's who we went with. John Wood from J. Calvin Wood was in my office the other day, sort of when it was still a lot of snow on the ground, and I said something about, gee, I'm glad that's over. And he's like, oh, I like the snow. And I said, oh, why? Well, it gives me business. You plow snow. So I thought we should send it to John Wood, Grover's Landscape, and then I have a third company that small community, the Harbors on Dell Road uses, or they just started using them this year. I think they were quite satisfied. Seemed kind of pricey to me. I saw the invoices. Seemed kind of pricey. It's a really small community. But anyway, that would be a third one.
Yeah.
And hopefully we won't have anything more this year. And
Never
because
know.
I think it's kind of late to try to get it all in order and in gear for the next,
Yeah.
just for 2-week, 3-week period of time. That we might have
Yeah,
snow.
I don't know if you know or don't know, but is that in line with what it's been in the past?
The cost?
Yeah. Because I haven't been on the board with that snow.
Yeah, yes and no. Their labor, I don't think their labor rate has changed, but the cost of salt went from, I want to say, $1.79 a ton to $2.39 a ton.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of money, and it's a lot of salt that's used.
But it's probably other places are probably gonna charge the same amount for salt.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
so.
Well, I guess you'll find out when you get the bids,
Right,
but,
exactly.
yeah.
But yeah, that's not, unreasonable considering the fact it's salt.
Right,
used, I guess.
right.
Okay.
Maria, can you explain for me what the counties do to us? They say pay forward or something. We've got so much
Well-
money in our account there.
Well, we do, but ordinarily what I do for these kinds of expenses, operations and maintenance and so on, I let the quarter go by and then, the following month, the first week of the following month, so the first week of March, I'll bill for reimbursement of all of our expenses in the preceding quarter. So that's usually just SMECO, because that's county, or special tax district. If we're billing something, some minor little repair, it's in operations and maintenance, they reimburse us, because we keep some money in the account. We don't keep 60-some thousand in the account, a special tax
Oh,
district
we've
account.
got over 200,000.
We do, but I have to request it, so that's why I asked for forward funding. So come March, I won't be asking for reimbursement, they've already paid it.
Yeah, so forward just means.
That's what I'm calling it,
In
maybe there's
advance,
a
in
different,
advance.
like an advance on the, well, it's not even an advance,
Because
I'm not sure what to call it, to
Yeah, I
fund
don't
it
know.
I'm kind of-
without reimbursement.
It's our money, and I just
Mhm.
want to be sure.
It
that we
is, and
don't-
we've got kind of
Kids
round
make
and round
games.
over the years. Well, we're required in our agreement to go out for,
Oh, fair
requests
enough.
for proposals every X number of,
Any,
you know,
it seems,
period
yeah,
of
it's
time. I think it's reasonable, I think it's, we hadn't done it for quite a while.
How does it compare with what we've had to pay in the past? I mean, prices have gone
I-
up, but
I
is
have
this?
to pull up invoices, I
What
mean.
was
Didn't you just say?
I just
it's
said
pretty
salt.
comparable?
I-
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
comparable,
I
I
know,
question.
but there are probably other things that have gone up too, other things.
I don't think their labor rate went up, so then the only other thing.
I mean, in 5 years, that's a
Yes,
long
yeah,
time
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
for everything.
So there's that one. Also then, work was done, and this was work that was approved on Eagle and Beach. Jake Kelvin Wood performed it, and I paid that out of state highway user revenue. And that's it.
You were doing all this while you were on vacation.
The snow thing, yeah.
Lovely.
Well, it worked out well kind of for me, because I think I booked like 10 or 12 hours while I was on vacation, and I came back, and I was sick. Got a cold. So I worked from home on Monday, and Tuesday was like, I have to go to work. So there went some of my hours. I just sort of plugged them in there. And I made notes so that it looks like what I did, it shows what I did. So it worked.
Next is finance.
Well, we've gone over the highlights there, or lowlights there. The big expenditure, of course, was the snow.